मृगाणां च मृगेन्द्रोऽहं वैनतेयश्च पक्षिणाम् पवनः पवतामस्मि रामः शस्त्रभृतामहम् झषाणां मकरश्चास्मि स्रोतसामस्मि जाह्नवी सर्गाणामादिरन्तश्च मध्यं चैवाहमर्जुन अध्यात्मविद्या विद्यानां वादः प्रवदतामहम् अक्षराणामकारोऽस्मि द्वन्द्वः सामासिकस्य च अहमेवाक्षयः कालो धाताहं विश्वतो मुखः मृत्युः सर्वहरश्चाहमुद्भवश्च भविष्यताम् कीर्तिः श्रीवाक्च नारीणां स्मृतिर्मेधा धृतिः क्षमा बृहत्साम तथा साम्नां गायत्री छन्दसामहम् मासानां मार्गशीर्षोऽहं ऋतूनां कुसुमाकरः द्यूतं झलयतामस्मि तेजस्तेजस्विनामहम् जयोऽस्मि व्यवसायोऽस्मि सत्त्वं सत्त्ववतामहम् वृष्णीनां वासुदेवोऽस्मि पाण्डवानां धनञ्जयः मुनीनामप्यहं व्यासः कवीनामुशना कविः दण्डो दमयतामस्मि नीतिरस्मि जिगीषताम् मौनं चैवास्मि गुह्यानां ज्ञानं ज्ञानवतामहम् यच्चापि सर्वभूतानां बीजं तदहमर्जुन न तदस्ति विना यत्स्यान्मया भूतं चराचरम् नातोऽस्ति मम दिव्यानां विभूतीनां परन्तप.
Let's start with our prayers. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karvavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om. Asato ma sadgamaya tamaso ma jyotirgamaya mrityurma amritam gamaya aviravirmayedhi. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om. Parthaya pratibodhitam bhagavata narayanena swayam vyasena grathitam purana munina madhye mahabharatam advaitamritavarshinim bhagavatim ashtadashadhyayinim ambatvamanusandanami Bhagavad Gita Bhavadveshinim. May we be protected, may we be nourished. May we strive with energy and vigor. May our study be enlightening and not give rise to hostility. Om peace, peace, peace. Lead us to truth and not to untruth. Lead us to enlightenment and not ignorance. Lead us to immortality and not death. Let the self-manifest Atman grow in me. Om peace, peace, peace. Om, O Bhagavad Gita, with which Partha was enlightened by the Lord Narayana himself, and which was incorporated in the Mahabharata by the ancient sage Vyasa, the Blessed Mother, the destroyer of rebirth, showering down the nectar of Advaita and consisting of 18 chapters. Apandi, O Bhagavad Gita, O loving mother, I meditate. So we are studying Bhagavad Gita, and it's very important chapter, 12th chapter. We have completed up to 11 chapters, 11 chapter, and as we have already many times, we have reminded ourselves, but little preamble is good, that in the first 6 chapters, Tat Tvam Asi, Tvam, you, thou. So who are you? What is your real nature? That is explained. What we really are. What we think ourselves, what we really are. Then the second 6 chapters are to elaborate who that Tat Tvam, who is that? Who is that Supreme Being? So this, the 6th chapter, and Tat Tvam Asi, then to unify both of the Tat and Tvam. So the second section, that means from 7th to 12th, 7 to 12, yes, 12. So this section is what is the divine and how we should worship him, how we should come closer to him, and as the last or penultimate shloka says, Jnatum, to know, Jnatum, Drashtum cha, and to see him, to experience him. Jnatum, Drashtum, Tattvena, in reality, what the reality is. And Pravishtum cha Parantapa, and not only that, to enter into that. So in short, what we have seen, Bhaktya tu Ananyaya Shakya. But by single-minded devotion, I may in this form be known, O Arjuna, and seen in reality, and also entered into, O scorcher of foes. So ultimate reality, not only to be known, not only to be experienced, but we are to be entered into, pravishtum, to be one with him. So in the 11th chapter, we have seen how Arjuna, in the beginning, he had doubt that whether he was able to see his form, the divine form, or not. So if you think that I am able to see your divine form, please show me your form, because I have heard about you a lot. I have heard about you a lot, but I now need to see your divine form. So he says, Natumam shakyase drashtum anenaiva, Bhagavan said, that is, he doubted, Manyase yadi tat shakyam. If you think that I am able to see your form, so please show me. So Bhagavan said, Natumam shakyase drashtum anenaiva svachakshusha divyam dadami te chakshuhu pashyame yogamaishram. So that form cannot be seen through this charma chakshu. What we can see physical, through physical eyes, that is physical only. But before that, Bhagavan says, Avyaktam Vyaktimapanyam. I am Avyakta. I'm unexpressed. but people think that I am a form. So all this he has said. Therefore, you cannot see through these physical eyes. So what I'll do, I'll give you Dibya Chakshu. So Bhagavan said that he would impart him Dibya Chakshu. And we have already discussed that we have external eyes, physical eyes, to see physical things. And then we have also intellectual eyes. Many things we can see, like this light, we can see by through our eyes. But behind this, electricity is running that we cannot see until or unless we apply our intelligence. So that is intellectual eye. And then, not only that, many things even cannot be thought of. We can only infer. So inference, like what is the cause of all these? See, this building was made, this is gross form, but behind that is subtle, that all the principles that are working, those are working. But there is a cause. We cannot understand that, only we understand through inference. That one day someone came here and identified this plot and said, oh, let there be a house. So that causal, because he is not present, and even whatever efforts that he made, that also is not present, but we can infer that there must be a cause. Similarly, we see this whole universe and physical form, and we can understand behind this physical form there are many principles which are at work. But there must be a cause why this creation was created, who created it. So that is our inferred sight. We can see through our inference. But there is another level that is called intuitive level. And it is direct perception. It is not that somebody only can infer. One can directly experience this. So that is intuitive knowledge. And Bhagavan Sri Krishna gave Arjuna that intuitive eyes to see that divine form. So he said that divyam dadami te chakshuhu. After that, and then he saw various forms. Let's say here. After that, he saw God's various forms. Divya malyam varadharam divya. If the splendor of 1,000 suns were to rise up simultaneously in the sky, that would be like the splendor of that. You know, in the life of Sri Ramakrishna also we see that Sri Ramakrishna was so eager to have the darshan or realization of Divine Mother that he could not tolerate any further. He was so suffering. So he took the sword hanging in the temple from the wall. He took that sword and wanted to kill himself. Because of his eagerness to experience Mother, he had darshan. And what he said, that as if the flood of effulgence engulfed me. So these are the expressions we cannot understand unless we experience ourselves. We can have some inklings, but experience is direct knowledge. It is not inferred or intellectual knowledge. It is direct knowledge. So Arjuna experienced that. And in the beginning, he was out of himself. And he had wonderness. Not only that, he also experienced fear. Tata sa vishmaya avristo rishta roma dhananjaya pranamya shirasi deva devam kritanjali rabhasata. Then he praised God out of his devotion. So in the beginning, he was besides himself, and then he was fearful also, because he could not stand that universal form. And because of that, he also experienced his devotion. And various forms that we have seen. And not only that, before that, Bhagavan explained him that he is in everything. Maya tatamidam sarvam jagad abhyakta murtina. He's in everything. He's pervading everything. So that form is difficult to see. And that is what Bhagavan later says, that this form you cannot see through tapasa and yajna, let me say that. Sudardarshamidam rupam drishtavanasi yanmama deva apyasya rupasya nityam darshanakankshina. Very hard indeed is to see this form of mine, which thou hast seen. Even the devas ever long to behold this form. And naham vedair na tapasa na danen na chejaya. Neither by the Vedas, nor the austerities, nor the gifts, nor the sacrifice can I be seen as thou hast seen me. So then, if nobody can see you, then what is the way then? What will happen to the devotees? So Bhagavan says, how he can be seen. So Bhagavan said, Bhaktya tu ananyaya shakti. Only with devotion. Only through devotion that you can see me. Bhaktya tu ananyaya shakya aham evam vidu Arjuna. Whatever you have seen through your direct perception, through your intuitive knowledge, that can be seen through the devotion alone. But by single-minded devotion, I may in this form be known, O Arjuna, and seen in reality, and also entered into, O scorcher of foes. So not only you can see him, see me, rather you can know me in my entirety, in my reality. Drashtumcha tattvena, what the reality is. And pravishtumcha parantam. So it is fulfillment. It is to enter into him. So but by single-minded devotion, I may in this form be known. Because other things are means. So devotion should not be used as means to achieve our worldly gain or worldly end. Rather, devotion is means to attain that knowledge and also to be with the divine. So single-minded devotion, I may in this form be known, O Arjuna, and seen in reality. Why it is required? Because until or unless we cultivate these ideas, we will have lots of doubts. How to see God, what should be done, and what is devotion. All kinds of questions will come. So Bhagavan will explain what is that devotion that I am referring to. So in other places also tametam vedanu yajnena danena tapasa shraddhayadiyam. So see, in other place also it is said that you can achieve this through Vedanu study of Gita, study of Vedas, that means scriptures. But here Bhagavan says that you cannot achieve him by study of Vedas. And neither you can achieve him with donation, through donation or yajna. Neither by the Vedas, nor by austerity, nor by gifts, nor the sacrifice can I be seen as thou hast seen me. So this is what he said. But in other places also we find that you can achieve him through study of Veda. Should we not, as Bhagavan said that you cannot achieve me through study of Vedas and tapas, that means penance, and also donating things or sacrifices, then should we all stop? No. These are means. But we should take the spirit. By doing this, only we can come closer to him. But these are not the means, direct means. As we study, what happens? Our mind comes closer. Then we think about it. So this way it helps. But it is not direct cause for realization. Similarly, yajna, dana, tapaha, shraddha, and even say shraddhaya adeyam, ashraddhaya adeyam. So whatever is to be given, that should be with shraddha. So here contradiction is there. So that contradiction can be solved by this, that yes, these are the means, but this is to come closer. But to have realization, these are not direct perception. That happens by the grace of God. Bhaktya tu ananya, that's why devotion, one-pointed devotion, shraddha, that is the means. That when we surrender totally, what is the point? When we surrender ourselves, we negate this limited ego, this limited aham, mama. And when we surrender ourselves, like a river surrenders itself to the ocean, then only it is unified with it. That is what Bhagavan said, bhaktya tu ananya. Ananya means no other business, no other orientation. So by the single-minded devotion, one-pointed devotion, I don't want anything else, I only want God. So bhaktya tu ananya shakya aham evam vido arjuna jnatum drashtum cha tattvena pravishtum cha parantam. Now Bhagavan elaborates that how that devotion can be translated in our even day-to-day life. So Bhagavan says, mat karma krit, who does my work? Mat karma krit, mat paramo, and I am the supreme. Mat bhaktaha, and who is my devotee? Sangha varjita, and who is detached? Sangha varjita. Nirvairaha, and nirvairaha means bearing no enmity. When a devotee sees that God is everywhere and everything is in God, yumam pashyati sarvatram sarvam chamei pashyati. He cannot hate anyone. He cannot have enmity with anyone. So, mat karma krit, mat paramo. Let me read the translation. He who does work for me alone He who does work for me alone and has me for his goal is devoted to me, is freed from attachment and bears enmity towards no creature. He entereth into me, O Pandava. Now we have to understand this, what is mat karma krit. So we have devotion while performing some work. We can think of God as Bhagavan said earlier, Yat karoshi, yadashnashi, yajjuhoshi, dadasi, yat tapasvasi kaunteya, tat kurusha madarpanam. So we have no escape from performing action, no escape from discharging our duties. So what we have to do? We have to perform our activities, but we have to remember God before we start, and while performing that duty, and after that also, and then offer everything, all the results thereof. Because if we keep something for me, for my selfish end, that is not good. Yat karoshi, whatever you do, yat ashnashi, whatever you eat, yat juhoshi, whatever you sacrifice, offer, dadasi yat, whatever you donate, tat kurushva, do them. But do by offering to me. So this offer, this is called karma lakshana bhakti. While performing work, one can have this devotion. So mat karma krit. So he who is doing my work, that means for me, it is not for oneself. Mat karma krit, mat paramo, and I am the supreme. He who does work for me alone and has me for his goal, supreme being, I am that supreme. And he knows for this. So this is knowing, that means what? It is still separate. So it is upasana. We also do the same thing. When we try to meditate, what we do? We try to feel his presence, his grace. So this upasana, this is called upasana. So it is upasana, upasana lakshana gyan. And as we have seen already, karma, we have karma phala. Whatever we do, we have karma phala. But if we do for ourselves, then what will happen? We are to suffer the consequences of it. So karma phala. And then comes the sense of enjoyer and enjoyment of that fruits thereof. And with good work, we have good results and we suffer good effect. But with bad work, we have bad effect and we suffer that. So all this suffering also will come if we do for ourselves. But if it is done for the divine, these will not touch us. That is why it is so important. We cannot deny our karma. And what kind of dukkha that we suffer? And why we call it dukkha? Whatever is not agreeable to us, whatever comes in front or opposite to our ego, that is our dukkha. And whatever we do, if we are doing for ourselves, then it is mixed with dukkha. Dukkha misritatvam. If we do for ourselves, then it will be with the mixture of dukkha. Because the ego is there. When ego is there, suffering must follow. Dukkha misritatvam. And when we are doing for ourselves, then another thing happens. Then it cannot appease us. Say like we eat something and we want to eat again. So this hankering also is the cause of satisfying the small ego. So that is why it is also, it cannot satiate our thirst for the enjoyment of sense experience. But when it is offered to God, then it will be negated, because it is not for me, it is for God. Then that cannot affect us. And another thing, what happens when we have that sense of ego, that it also binds us, bandhakatvam. It binds us. When we have sense of ego, I am doing, then it will bind that results, whatever result is accrued, that will bind me with that enjoyment or suffering, whatever it is. That is why we should not do or perform duties for our sake, but offer to God. That's why Bhagavan said, Yat karoshi yadasnasi yat juhoshi dadasi yat tapasvasi kaunteya tat kurusho madarpanam. So this we practice, and we try to practice. Secondly, upasana. Upasana also, mat paramo. God is supreme. I am only a speck. I am only offering myself. This is small ego. So here, this offering is kind of upasana. So upasana is to sit close to the divine. So he who sees me, mat karmakrit, mat paramo, mat bhaktaha. And what is that? A devotee, when he thinks that I am not separate, I am one with God. Though there are many kinds of unity, that means sayujya, salokya, sarupya, shashti, etc. In the same loka, in same form, all kinds of, various kinds of mukti is determined, but it is not. One has to attain that nature which that the ideal is. So what is that? When we reach there, then only we can understand. And then Sangha Varjita, very important, without attachment. We are attached with this world. We are attached with the results of our actions that we accrue. So that is why we need to renounce that mentally at least. And whatever comes physically, that also is, say puja buddhi, like prasad buddhi. We get something, otherwise it is physical, say fruits, it is offered to the divine, but we take as prasad. Say sweet, maybe someone may think it's sweet only. He may disregard and he may not take, but if it is prasad, he will take at least a little. So this prasad buddhi is very important. So Bhagavan said, mat karma krit, mat paramo. He who does work for me alone and has me for his goal, is devoted to me, is freed from attachment, and bears enmity towards no creature. He entereth into me, nirvairaha sarvabhutesu, yaha sah mameti. He attains me, he achieves me, he enters into me. O Pandava, mameti, he Pandava. So this way Bhagavan concluded Iti Vishwarupa Darshan Nama Ekadashadhyaya. End of 11th chapter designated the vision of the universal form. Now a pertinent question comes in front of Arjuna. Here Bhagavan showed his universal form. So when we say universal, still it's a form. Form is he has some qualities, saguna and sakar, with attributes, with qualities, and with form. Now, what is better? Because Bhagavan Shankaracharya says that up to 10th chapter, Bhagavan, let me quote him, Nirasta sarvopadhikatvat, upadhitvad, aksharam. Bhagavan, yecha anyapi tyakta sarveshanaha. So sarveshana means all kinds of desires. Putreshana, vitteshana, lokeshana. One putra, that means one wants to leave some memory to this world. So in the form of progeny, in the form of whatever, various ways. And vitteshana, one wants to acquire resources, money, gold, etc. And lokeshana, one wants to have support or some other kinds of intangible wealth. So all kinds of desires. So Bhagavan says, Bhagavan Shankaracharya, Echa api tyakta sarveshanaha sanyasta sarvakarmano yatha visheshitam brahma. So aksharam brahma. So Bhagavan said also, what is Brahman? He defined it. Aksharam, tadaksharam brahma. So there he tried to crush all the upadhis. Even Bhagavan says, what is incarnation? Avyaktam vyaktimapanyam manyante mam abuddhya. I am avyakt, unmanifest. But those who are not intelligent enough, they attribute me as a person. Avyaktam vyaktimapanyam manyante mam abuddhaya. Param bhavam ajananta, because they do not know my supreme reality. So Bhagavan, there he said that I am that supreme which is unmanifested. But here Bhagavan showed his form and manifested, and he has so many qualities, and yatha nadina, he saw various, that all creatures are going to get destroyed in Vishwarup Darshana Yuga, like all kinds of things. Arjuna saw that like Dronam cha Bhishmam cha Jayadratham cha Karnam tathanyapi Yodha Viran, all people are flowing towards him and getting destroyed. So his universal form is like this. So he has one form, he is a Visheshita, without any attributes, unmanifested. But here he is manifested, though it is seen only through the divine eyes, not through this normal grossified or say external eyes. We cannot see through this. But still this conflict is there. One is that you have unmanifested form and here you have manifested form. So which one is better? So this question came. And not only there, Bhagavan further said that Yo mam ajam anadim cha vetti loka maheshwaram. So I am ajam, I am unborn, anadi, I am without beginning. And then Bhagavan others said, avajananti mam mudham manushim tanumasritam. Mudha means those who are confused, those who do not know. They see me as taking a human form. So all these are indicating to one thing, that God is without form, God is without attributes. Nirguna Nirakar. But here Bhagavan shows Arjuna that he has forms also. And he has many attributes. So this is the conflict. So Arjuna asks this question. Arjuna Vaj, Evam Satata Yuktaye Bhaktastam Paryupasate E Chapyaksharam Abhyaktam Tesham Ke Yoga Vittama. Now comparison is like one who worships you without form, without any attributes. But another person, he worships you with attributes, with form. Who is better? This question comes to anyone. And in the second chapter also Bhagavan said, Atman Nevatmana Tushta Sthita Prajna Taduchyate. There one is poised in oneself. He is not bothered about anything else. So all this is the background of Arjuna's mind, and here this question is very pertinent. Those devotees who ever steadfast thus worship thee, and those also who worship the imperishable, the unmanifested, which of them are better versed in yoga? Please tell me, who is better? Though for us it doesn't matter, but it is for higher thinkers. For us, whatever form it is much better. But it is, and why should we bother about with form or without form? Let us worship God. But it is for those who wants to go in deep meaning of it. So that is where Arjuna asked this. Those devotees who ever steadfast, thus worship thee, satata yukta, those who are ever steadfast, who joined with you, bhakta stvam paryupasate, and they worship you with devotion. Thus worship thee, and those who worship the imperishable. Echa akshara, echa api aksharam avyaktam. Akshara means who is without any perishing, unperishable, imperishable. So that person who is worshipping God, that God is imperishable and abhyaktam vyaktimapanyam manyante mam abuddhaya, Bhagavan said earlier. So who is better? Please tell me. So this is the question. Now Bhagavan says, Mayyavishya mano yemam nitya yukta upasate Shraddhaya parayopeta te me yukta tamamata. Now this is a verdict. Verdict is going on. And another thing we find here, that whatever chapter it is, Bhagavan highlights that. In Jnana Yoga, Bhagavan says, Nahi jnanena sadrisham pavitram iha vidyate. And in Bhakti Yoga, we'll find he'll highlight Bhakti. So, one has to take from that perspective. If someone is worshipping through devotion, that is good. He should not demean or make small of others. Whatever path one is following, that's good for him or her. But we should not think lowly of others. So here Bhagavan says, Maya Vishya Mano Yemam Nitya Yukta Upasat. So he who steadfastly, he who fixing their mind on me, worship me. Nitya yukta. Nitya means always attached with me. Upasate. Shraddhaya. So main thing is that should be Shraddha, the one-pointed devotion. Shraddhaya. Okay, sorry, here. Mayavishya mano imam nitya yukta upasate Shraddhaya parayopeta. Supreme Shraddha. Ever steadfast and endowed with supreme Shraddha. They, in my opinion, are the best versed in yoga. So what will happen to others? Bhagavan will explain that in the third and fourth shlokas. That those will also achieve me, but for them it is a bit difficult. Yetu aksharam anirdeshyam avyaktam paryupasate sarvatragam achintyam cha kutastham achalam dhruvam sanniyamindriya gramam sarvatra samabuddhya te prapnuvanti mameva sarvabhute hite rata. So Bhagavan, let us read the translation first, so then it will be okay. But those also who worship the imperishable, the indefinable, the unmanifested, the omnipresent, the unthinkable, the unchangeable, the immovable, the eternal, having subdued all the senses, even-minded, everywhere engaged in the welfare of all beings, verily they reach only myself. Now this is the say difference. We should not say conflict. So one is with attributes, with Ananta Kalyana Guna, like this, infinite number of divine qualities, but in other, bereft of all such qualities. So this is the juxtaposition. So both will reach me, that means Bhagavan says, both will reach me. Only thing, klesho adhikataras tesham abhyakta sakta chetasam. For those who entertain unmanifested, for them it is difficult. Abhyakta hi gatir dukkham deha badhir avapyate. Greater is their trouble, whose minds are set on the unmanifested. See, if you ask someone, think of something who has no qualities, no form, we cannot think about, because this limited ego or this small ego, who can think of only which has form, name, and qualities, and maybe some activities. So that is why in our process of upasana also, what we do, we are given a name, and also we are given a form, an ideal. And our devotees, or we, what we do, we think of that divine person with his form, his name, his qualities, his divine sports. And through that only we can think of his real nature. It is not that we can directly think that is who is Anirdeshya, who is the divine. What is that divine form? We cannot understand that. क्लेशो अधिकतरस्तेषाम अव्यक्तासक्ति चेतसाम अव्यक्ता ही गतिर दुखम देह बद्भिर अवाप्यते. In Upanishad we see that Yagyavalkya says to Gargi that etad aksharam, that akshara is anirdeshyam, and he has that etad vai tadaksharam gargi brahmana abhivadanti asthulam ananu arhashvam adirgham. That means no attribute can bind him. So through upasana, what we have to do? We have to take help of attributes, and then we have to remove that attributes. It is reverse of what we do in Vedanta. In Vedanta, what we do? First superimposition of something and then desuperimposition. But here we take the reverse way. We take the help of the form, name, attributes, even divine sports. And then we transcend that. We try to go beyond that. So both are good. If you see a divine leela, divine sports of an incarnation of God, that way also thinking that also will help that the aspirant. But it is better gradually one should be able to understand what he is in reality, tattvataha. So that's why first we take the form, that means divine form, we meditate on that form, and then divine name, which is subtle, because we need some attention to capture our sight, hearing, touching, all these 5 avenues. Through these 5 avenues, we see this world, we experience this world. There must be something to capture the imagination of our senses. That is why in the beginning we meditate on form and then name. And name and the indicator of name, Nam and Nami, Abhed. So if someone is sleeping, if we call him or her, immediately he wakes up and tells, yes, what can I do for you? So it means we have some attachment with name also. So this identification, so Bhagavan says, if you call the name of God, God responds. So Nam, Nami, Abhed. Similarly, when we are meditating on a form, our senses are engaged there. And then various qualities, because only name and form, but if we don't meditate on the qualities, then it cannot go further. Therefore, we also should meditate on the divine qualities. And in the beginning, divine qualities, and then a sight will be developed when we can see everything is the expression of divine, good, bad, and indifferent. So, and ultimately one should understand what the reality is, and that will come the intuitive knowledge. What we, in the beginning we explained, that it is beyond even the gross seeing or intellectual seeing or imagined or inferred seeing, and also It is beyond all kinds of perception. That will come later. So, klesho adhikatarastesham. So we just read this. Mayavashya manoyama. So he who absorbs himself, Mayavashya mano yemam, nitya yukta upasate, shraddhaya parayopeta, teme yukta tamamata. Mayavashya. So how to do it? There are various ways. Like chant the name of God, see His form. First we have to see the form of divine form, whatever is introduced by our Guru. Later we have to extend that form in all being, in all forms. Maya avashya mano yemam nitya yukta. And one should be joined with him all the time. So in various ways, by performing action, by whatever one deals with, thinking about him. You know, like Girish Chandra Ghosh, another devotee. Another devotee who said, I cannot do so much of japa, but what I do, I repeat the name of mother, mother, mother few times and I sleep. Sri Ramakrishna says that is enough. So, even one should remember God, one should think about it. And whatever we can do physically, that is also important. So, Maya Vishya Manayamam. The main thing is we have to join our mind with the divine. Nitya Yukta Upasate Shraddhaya. One central point is it should be with one-pointed devotion. Paravayopeta Teme Yukta Tamamata. So he is the Yukta Tama means he is the very well-versed, best versed in the yoga. But Bhagavan did not discard others. Only he said that it is very difficult for them, but they are also my devotees. Yetu aksharam anirdeshyam abhyaktam pariupasate sarvatra agamacintyam cha kutastham achalam dhruvam samniyamindriya gramam. So what they do? But those who worship the imperishable, the indefinable, the unmanifested, and omnipresent, the unthinkable. So this is very difficult. It is like doing PhD. So we are in kindergarten. It is not for us. It is for those who are very advanced. For them, this is the way. For us, we should go according to the instructions that we have received from our gurus. But those also who worship the imperishable, the indefinable, the unmanifested and omnipresence. Now it is a riddle, all negation, all attribute is to be negated. And once Swami Vivekananda said, what is Brahman? Brahman cannot be said that it is this. So all negations, whatever needs, all negations, whatever lead, wherever it leads, that is Brahman. And Sri Ramakrishna also said, Neti Neti, after doing Neti Neti Neti, what remains, that is it. Sri Ramakrishna also said, like think of yourself. Are you body? Because body changes. Are you mind? No, because mind also keeps on changing. Intellect? No. Sri Ramakrishna said like it is like peeling the onion, layer after layer, and in the end you won't find anything. So it is like that. So peeling off all the upadhis, all the adjuncts, what will lead, it is not for us, it is for the higher aspirants. So, but those who worship the imperishable, the indefinable, the unmanifested, the omnipresent, the unthinkable, the unchangeable, the immovable, the eternal, having subdued all the senses, even minded. So, this is another difficulty, subduing all the senses, but our senses are so strong, it always goes out. And even minded, everywhere engaged in the welfare of all beings, verily they reach only myself. So, this is very difficult path, but what is easier? The Bhakti Yoga. Bhakti Yoga means not only whatever we do, karma lakshana bhakti, or upasana lakshana bhakti, or jnana lakshana bhakti, all these are bhakti. Even cultivation of knowledge, this is also kind of bhakti. We have some devotion, that is why we are trying to cultivate our devotion. So, jnana lakshana bhakti. So, these are our sadhana that we should perform so that we are the closest. And it is not to demean any other form. Only that second part is very difficult. Klesho adhika tarastesham abhyakta sakta chedasam abhyakta hi gatir dukkham hetu vadbhir avapyate. Greater is their trouble whose minds are set on the unmanifested. For the goal of the unmanifested is very hard for the embodied to reach. So this is the verdict given by Sri Krishna. Therefore, we should follow whatever instructions that our gurus have given, because that is the easiest path for us. But it is good to know what are the other paths. So I think I will stop here. Any yes.
You mentioned that there's bhakti and jnana, there's bhakti and karma yoga, that all of those are a form of bhakti. Can you say a little bit more about that?
Yeah. So like you go to a patient, serve her. Initially what you do, it is a kind of work. But you do out of your love for the patient. The same thing when we do for the love of God. So work is also being performed, but at the same time it is devotion. So devotion is not limited in only, say like Swamiji said, we have hands to work, we have head to think, we have heart to feel, and we have mind to concentrate. So that's why karma yoga, because we want to work. That's also independent path, without any desire or without any attachment for the results thereof. That's also independent path. But when it is offered to God because of your love, then it is karma lakshana bhakti. But when the same thing is like a upasana lakshana, so bhakti, what will happen? You are remembering God and with devotion. So that's devotion, but at the same time upasana also. That's another sign of upasana lakshana. And third, when one sees he is within me and he is without me, and this small ego has disappeared. When we give 100%, if not 100%, even 90% also will do, then we have to think that this is only a notion that this ego is there. The presence of this ego will be a notional presence. So that will be jnana lakshana bhakti. Because there is no separate identity. So that's also kind of bhakti. Bhakti means emotional or the quality of emotion that is attached with God. So through the cultivation of knowledge, if we can attach that to God, then it is Jnana Lakshana Bhakti. Okay. We'll say our prayer. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Tatsat. Sri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu. Next Sunday, Swami Aparananchi will be here. He'll give a talk on Bhagavad Gita, a similar, some knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. And then we'll have Vedanta Sara on Thursday, online, and few people come here. And on Friday, on Holy Mother, Sri Sharda Devi and her divine play.
Do you think there'll be satsang after on Sunday, Saturday after Ananda Ji comes?
No, it will be late and not very.
Jai Shri Sri Ma Sharade. Jai Sri Sri Thakur Ramakrishna Devi. Jai Sri Sri Swamiji Maharaj. Guru Brahma Guru Vishnu Guru Deva Parama Brahma Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Om Jai Sri Gurudev. The long and winding road that the wind washed away will never disappear. I've seen that road before. It always leads me back, leads me to your door. The wild and windy night that the rain washed away has left its pool of tears, crying for the day. Don't leave me waiting here. Let me know the way. Many times I've been alone, and many times I've cried. But anyway, you've always known the many ways I've tried. But still they lead me back to that long and winding road. You left me waiting here a long, long time ago. Don't leave me waiting here. Lead me to your door.
Thank you, Swami.